All right, let's talk about something we've all been through. You start a new habit, you're feeling amazing, you've got a streak going, and then, boom, life happens. You miss one day, and just like that, the whole thing feels like it's falling apart. Well, today we're going to break down a system to make sure that never, ever happens to you again.
But seriously, what is it? Why is it that something we actually want to do, something we know is good for us, can feel so fragile? I promise you, it's probably not a lack of willpower. It's something way more sneaky.
And here it is. This is the culprit. It's called the all or nothing trap. It's that little perfectionist voice in our heads that says, hey, if you can't do this 100% perfectly, you might as well just not do it at all. It's this toxic idea that one tiny mistake equals total failure. And you know exactly how this trap works, right? You start a new habit, you build up this perfect streak, maybe it's 12 days in a row, and you feel totally invincible. But then you miss day 13, and your brain immediately goes, well, the streak's broken. It's over. You failed. And it's that feeling of failure that makes us quit, not the fact that we just missed one day.
I mean, this analogy just says it all, doesn't it? It perfectly shows how absurd our thinking can be. Of course, you wouldn't destroy a perfectly good mug just because of a tiny little chip. You'd just keep using it. So why on earth do we smash our habits to pieces after one little imperfection? It's time to stop.
So how do we escape this trap? How do we build a system that's actually resilient? Well, we do it with something that's super simple, but honestly, incredibly powerful. It's called the 2-day rule. The rule itself is just beautiful in its simplicity. You are officially giving yourself permission to be a human. You can skip the gym, you can miss a day of reading. Life gets crazy, it happens. That's okay. The only hard and fast rule is this. You just can't miss 2 days consecutively. That's it. And this is what real consistency actually looks like. It's not some perfect, unbroken chain of check marks. It's about showing up, taking a break when you need to, and then getting right back on the horse. That X on Wednesday isn't a failure. It's just a pause. The real win is that check mark on Thursday. Now, this is the key that makes the whole system click. The day after you miss becomes the single most important day of your week. It's not about motivation anymore. It's just about following the rule. That's the day you draw your line in the sand and you stop a simple pause from turning into a full-blown quit. Okay, so the rule is simple, but how do we make it absolutely foolproof? Well, there are a couple of little psychological tricks and safety nets you can build in that make this thing almost impossible to fail. The psychology behind this is just so critical. The 2-day rule completely reframes what a missed day means. It's not a failure anymore, it's a rest day. It's permission to be human, no guilt attached. But missing 2 days in a row? That's a different story. That's not a break. That's actually the beginning of a new negative habit, the habit of not doing the thing. So what about those non-negotiable second days when you really, really don't feel like it? We've all been there. This is where you pull out your secret weapon. You add a safety net called a floor standard. And the idea here is to lower the bars so ridiculously low that you can't help but step over it. If your goal is to work out, your floor standard is to just do one push-up. If your goal is to read, you just have to read one single sentence. See? The goal isn't to have a great workout. The goal is to keep the 2-day rule alive. You just have to show up. And this connects to a really powerful idea from the book Atomic Habits. Every single action you take is like a vote for the type of person you want to be. So when you do that one push-up, you're not just exercising. You're casting a vote that says, I am the type of person who doesn't miss workouts 2 days in a row. And that's the real key, isn't it? You don't have to be perfect. You don't need a perfect ballot to win the election. You just need to win. By using the 2-day rule, you make sure you're always casting more votes for your new identity than against it. Even with a few missed votes here and there, the outcome is a total landslide. Okay, but let's be real. What happens when you do blow it? What if you get super sick, or life just completely implodes and you break the 2-day rule? This is the exact moment where most people quit for good. But this system, it has a plan for that too. So, it happened. You didn't just miss one day, you missed 2, and maybe the whole week went by. That feeling of failure can be absolutely crushing. The temptation is to just throw your hands up and say, well, I've ruined it, I'll try again next month, maybe next year. We're not doing that. Instead, you're going to initiate the emergency protocol. It's simple and it's totally shame-free. First, just acknowledge it happened.
Yep, okay. Second, and this is so important, you declare bankruptcy. The past is gone. It doesn't matter. You don't try to make up for it with some killer workout. That's just punishment, and we're not about punishment. You simply restart. And you restart right now. Today is day one. Not tomorrow, not next Monday, today. You wipe the slate completely clean, and you begin a brand new streak, starting with the beautiful number one. When you really boil it all down, this entire system comes back to one core philosophy. It's a fundamental shift in how we look at progress, and honestly, how we look at success.
The real failure isn't missing a day. That's just a slip-up. That happens to everybody. The real failure is allowing that one little slip-up to become a huge downward slide into quitting completely. The 2-day rule is your emergency brake. It stops the slide before it even has a chance to start.
And this is the heart of it right here. Consistency isn't about being a hero every single day and doing some intense 2-hour workout. It's about simply not stopping. It's about doing one single push-up when you feel like quitting. It's about showing up, especially when you don't want to, and just keeping that engine running.
And that leaves us with just one final thought. Don't let this just be interesting information that you forget about in 5 minutes. Make it useful. Right now, think of the one habit in your life that this rule could completely transform. How are you going to use it to finally stop quitting and start winning?